security. You know, I made it a thing. I'm not going to show the police in the beginning. Stacks and Millie. Oh, no. I show the police like during those parades and all that or whatever, and their little get-togethers and all that. I'm into the police get-togethers or whatever, but I don't like show them like do any traffic stops. You know, there's like some YouTubers that do that. He's not one of those ones. He chose not to be. At first, I didn't know the difference between ones that would do videos of ones like when the crimes in progress or anything. He doesn't really generally do any crime in progress videos because of personal safety reasons or anything like that. Any sort of police business. He doesn't get into it. He's just into the if they're all formulated and doing one of these Christmas things or whatever, I seen there was a market in that quite possibly and all that. But other than that, I think they do a Christmas thing over at the grocery store. Who knows if you'll get that one? Maybe I will. Vanderwerst. Maybe I won't. You know what I did get a video was believe it or not, I got a lot of video. It's a famous video now. The Port Elgin Christmas Parade. He got to do that one for 2022 or 20, no, it's 20, no, not 2022. I did the 2021 or 2021. I can't remember, but it's been an annual thing. They did. Somebody did the video in 2019. There's one for Port Elgin Santa Claus Parade. They got the 2018 one, and then you got mine. You can see Santa in mine, but I think every single one's good. But I like mine the most. It's 4K. I know that mine's the most high quality when you're talking like the 4K or the 1080p or whatever. It's not even popping up on YouTube or Google yet. But it is up on YouTube. You gotta search it. What's it called? Port Elgin Christmas Parade. So you got the 2021. What was mine? The 20. Oh, it was 2021. Oh, there was two 2021 ones. There was two 2021 ones or whatever. And all that. And yeah, it was a good one. And then they also have the 2018 one. They have the 2019 one. And the 2017 and 2011 and 2009. So which one do they not get? 2016 doesn't have it. So it's off and on. It's off and on. But we got the 2021. The 2021 is very high quality or whatever, like I said. Even that Marcus was there. He's since moved to. Where did he move to? That Marcus. He moved to Niagara Falls. Labor Day Parade in Port Elgin over there. That's something cool. I guess this is Port Elgin. I think I did watch this one for a minute. There's a lot of people in Port Elgin. There's even Port Elgin vlogs. There's a lot of real estate here in Port Elgin. I know there's a lot of real estate. What was that one we just seen here in Port Elgin? Beach trip. A lot of beach trips and everything in Port Elgin and all that. Port Elgin, Canada. Oh, well, then, and all that. But that's got nothing to do with me. But, anyways, just like these vlogs, each person's their own person. Cottage vlog, Port Elgin vacation, 2021. Oh, I got a video of the main beach. Port Elgin 2022. Oh, here's a new one, Port Elgin 2022. Yeah, I have a couple videos of even going by the beach when a lot of people were doing volleyballs and all different stuff. There was even one of those. I have a video. It's on my channel of one of those unicorns from the Nicki Minaj video or whatever. That was in everything like that. Here's the Plex in Port Elgin. Yeah, a lot of people can't believe they had this relation that was in the United States and went to school and all that, and then came back. There's a couple of us. Even my probation officer, my old probation officer, Judith, she used to live in Atlanta. And then this one lady or whatever that works for Wolfie's Taxi, I'm fairly sure she's the same woman from this Miami video with Gunplay, this rapper guy. So there's a couple of them that have been down there, but she was originally Canadian or something. I don't know. What's this one? Walk a mile in her shoes, poor Elgin. That one was scary for a minute. I said, what's this one? You think it's going to be something bad, but no, it's walk a mile in her shoes. Harbor Street. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of real estate. We don't have, there's absolutely, I don't even use that word to go along with Port Elgin, where I live in Port Elgin, right? Uh, we've came to the conclusion, right? You have, like, we've developed here in Canada. We're smart enough to understand that people have online things here in Canada. It's way different now, eh? Yeah, can you believe it? People, there's all types of people. There's people with American business. I'm not the only person. They try to out me as the only person with American business that goes on, but no. There's lots of people that enjoy Port Elgin. They have family, friends, and business else places. Since the invention of the internet, that's been a big thing. That's been a big thing. Anybody that lives in one of these houses and stuff, they have business, trust me. Port Elgin, Ontario, drive along, Lake Huron. Oh, I love this area. I always drive on this area on my e-bike. Not always, but I have so many times that I very much enjoyed this. Well, I haven't went the whole route yet. I did go so far as to I went to I went to Southampton, Southampton on my e-bike, taking this road. It's amazing, like how the lake is and everything, especially on the e-bike. You got a lot of real estate, a lot of good real estate. Yeah, it'd be something. Yeah, there's a lot of good real estate that I see that. There was a place that was up for sale. I used to ride by it, and then it was sold. Said, wow, what a place. And then it was sold. Unfortunately, right now, I don't have the money to buy, but many people buy here in Port Elgin. And in the future, I'd be saving. They got some really beautiful homes to buy here in Port Elgin. Once you have the credit and the down payment, you'll be able to you could very much buy a home here in Port Elgin. My credit is going to be good in about 5 more years or so. My, and then I got to save, right? The down payment. But it's not too hard to save for a down payment. You can do it. You can save for a down payment and change your whole life in the mortgaged house or whatever. And you'll be like, well, what my idea? I have a whole business plan to it. He's already started his big video companies and blah 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 and all that or whatever and yada yada. So I like him a super producer. So when I get my own mortgaged house, I get my ODSP and then my mortgage is exempted. I pay my mortgage because I am qualified for the ODSP too. Not everybody qualifies, and you have to have cancer or something like that. And so I get that. On top, I get other stuff, and then there's grants and whatever. So he could easily afford, and I get a lot of gifts. And then he's got this. He's got extra incomes and royalties for what I've done in the community. He's got music royalties. I lost friends in the music business. There were kids. I don't know if you've heard of them, but that little JoJo, Carlton Weekly. There used to be members of the community that used to make fun of me for knowing those kids or whatever that died. But guess what I got? Millions of royalties or whatever. They come in. They have these millions of views. They gave me some of the royalties because I got teased about how I knew these. Down in Teeswater, they had teased me about how I knew these, like a FBG duck and all that. They were starting to do the teasing and all that or whatever. So then I won some royalty on some music or whatever, and that also helps. So that'll help me get my mortgage too and all that. So that's fully exempted and all that, my royalties and all that. To go with the dead people and everything or whatever. Or the dead bitches. That's one of his songs, The Dead Bitches, all right? But I don't generally listen to the song too much or whatever and all that, but they are musics, so go listen to them. But it's got nothing to do with me. I just earn royalties that are going to help me just live here in the country of Canada where I'm from. And Carlton was just a normal guy that lived in the city of Chicago. And it's just unfortunate that he never learned or whatever, something like how I learned or whatever. Well, I came back to Canada or whatever. I knew I would have never made it in Chicago because everybody knows once you make it in Chicago, you leave Chicago. And he never left Chicago. And a lot of people leave Chicago. FYBJ Maine left Chicago. He's in Vegas. NBA Youngboys in Utah. He even left where he was at. And unfortunately, but they were holding it down in Chicago. I mean, they were from that area and all that. Mama's still doing well out there. I even seen Mama in Toronto. They came to Toronto one time. FBG Doc, Carlton Weekly. And then he died probably about two years later after coming to the TO. Hey, I didn't do it, but nigga, please. You know what I mean? He came to TO one time. Somehow they let him in. But then when he got back to Chicago, it wasn't a good sight. That's all I know. But it wasn't very unfortunate or whatever. Because I was a big fan of them. He was a big fan of that one. Mississauga Canadian Tire closed after fatal stabbing. John Tory promises to finish Toronto transit projects already. Toronto's Eaton Centre evacuated after multi-vehicle fire. I love that Toronto's Eaton Centre. I went there. He went downstairs, eat there. There's so many different places to eat when you're in Toronto. You can go to that Eaton Centre many times. It was so good when I went there. I went to Best Buy. Where else did I go? Starbucks. Sat in the Starbucks. Went a couple of places. He went to a lot of different restaurants. Tim Hortons. All that. It seems like when I was there, it was, well, no, they got it under control. I see they got it under control. No, I seen some stuff when I was there. I think it's well accounted that I had seen a murder, the first murder I'd ever seen in my bare real eyes. I seen it in Toronto. It was Toronto. Okay, it's the big city. And when you learn these things on the internet, you don't know that it comes in real time and they come up with a new strategy every get go or whatever. Like you think it's just the video, but when you grow up in Toronto, there's a new little strategy every day for certain little things to happen. It isn't, the videos are old tricks and then they come up with new ones too and all that. So I seen that in Toronto, the real life policing and the real life just living streets and whatever. It was a good motivation, a good learning lesson to continue to try to work hard and be a good person and all that because, yeah, I seen a murder. I heard about this Canadian Tire. I think I seen it on Google Maps. Oh, no, no, no. That's Eaton Center Canadian Tire, is it not? No, no, no. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It has to be because Mark's, I went there and got a jacket. It's famous you got a jacket at Mark's. All I did was shop, take videos. But it's gotten a lot better. And same with my life. I couldn't afford to live in Toronto. It's expensive to live in Toronto, and a lot of people do, and they love it. Good to see the e-scooters. Good to see the e-scooters in Toronto. My family goes to the Blue Jays games. I've even been to the Blue Jays games. Yeah, the streets are raw in Toronto. I got along with all of them, but hey, it's something you got to do sometimes. But he's lucky he didn't get any bad pictures with any of them or nothing. But who was coming after me for one of those was that Doug Ford. He came after me in London trying to get these undercover videos of me or whatever and all that. But I thought that was cute, and so did he. And he never ended up releasing those. But he can release those. That would be, see, it would be good for me or whatever. But no, they got it under control. But other than that, how do you pronounce Toronto? That's a good one. There's a lot of different pronunciations to Toronto. They say Toronto, 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 Toronto. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to pronounce it. My auntie was saying something like that. She lives in the GTA. Murder in the Six. Toronto's deadly gang war. And the Six, like, it's real in the field out in the Six. And no, not as much so as the Six. Like where I live or whatever, it's only the police that are into this stuff. But in Toronto, they got mafias, gangs, whatever. It's hard to explain, but in Toronto, it's serious. I don't know. I live out in the hills, what are considered the hills, kind of like what would be the Beverly Hills or something to somebody out in Los Angeles or something. I made my way out of Toronto. I'm out in the hills. We got many hills, Halton Hills, and other ones where you can move if you wanted to. You don't have to live in the greater Toronto area. There's many other parts of Canada. But it's a good place to celebrate, and it's a good place to go through and meet people and greet people, especially if you're new to Canada. I was new to Canada, I guess. Like, he wasn't new to Canada, but I've only been around for 30 years about. And it was the first time I ever got to walk around the streets of Toronto. All the young people and even adults want to do that. Walk around the streets of Toronto, downtown, get to know it, even sleep downtown Toronto, whatever. You're just living downtown Toronto and all that. Learning it. There's like women and all that walking around Toronto and all that. It's something he never got to do and he wanted to do it and all that. But then there's the nightlife in Toronto. Like there's like the more richier ones. I seen that Yonge Street in Toronto. They sent me like $800 to go down Yonge. I was in a taxi. I just was looking at people like an Italian. I was like, who's this person? Who's that? And all that. Anyways, Toronto.